for today. We are grateful for your God, our God. Thank you for the first service. Here is our second service. We pray that you will continue guiding us again. Speak to us through this series. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. We are still continuing with the 8 attitudes. These are attitudes that every Christian should have. They are called the Beatitudes according to the Latin Vulgate, and we have 103 of them so far. I think this is the 4th one. I'm not sure whether this is the 4th. The poor one, those who need the 2nd, the meek the 3rd, those who hunger the 4th. So we're dealing with the 50th attitude, and it is blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. They shall obtain mercy. That is Matthew chapter 5, verse 7. It is common for people to confuse grace with mercy. Okay, it is common for people to confuse grace with mercy, but the two are not the same. The two are not the same. Grace is a state. Okay, it is a state. So when you say that God is gracious, grace is not something that God does. Grace is who God is. He's a gracious God. He's a state. It is a state. And maybe time will come when we have to talk about the concept of grace from the Hebrew perspective and from also the Greek perspective and even other perspectives of our culture, so that we get to understand what we mean when we say God is gracious. Because there's a difference between saying that God is gracious and merciful God. So grace is a state. Mercy is an attitude. It is how you look at things and what happens in your world when you're looking at whatever you're looking at. That's what we mean by mercy. Mercy. So Jesus said that there's a blessing in a merciful attitude. There's a makarios blessing, and we have talked about the kind of blessing that we're talking about here. It's a very special blessing that we're dealing with. Not barak. No, it's not barak. So we are dealing with an advanced kind of blessing. It's not a materialistic kind of blessing, but the blessed people that we're talking about here are people with advanced kind of blessing. So I think it's very important for us to understand that the two are not the same. Because when you say, Lord have mercy, okay, we are asking God to have a perspective on this situation, to look at it. But the irony here is that evil and good happen within the realm of the grace of God. They happen, and they can be exercised to their exhaustion. Actually, they can be exercised within the realm of grace. But when it comes to mercy is proactive. Mercy acts around situations. Mercy is not pitying and walking. It's not that, and I'll come to that. It is a proactive attitude. Lord, have mercy. It is an attitude that influences a particular kind of action. So you are blessed if you have such an attitude. You are blessed because you shall obtain mercy as well. When you find yourself in that situation, that's what verse 7 says. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Mercy is something that you don't need today, but you might need tomorrow. You will need it. Abantu fena twetaaga okusaasirwa. At a certain point, you need that kusaasirwa. You need that mercy. So the Beatitude is telling us that have that attitude of mercy, because you will need that attitude when you are in the same corner, when the same coin. So I wanted us to make sure that we understand the difference. That we're not talking about the grace here. The grace of God by which we're saved by iTiS is not the same as mercy. So when Jesus was at the cross, it was not mercy at play actually. It was grace at play. It was mercy at play when he got incarnate. He became flesh because he was merciful to us. Hebrews chapter 2 verse 17. What does it say? Hebrews chapter 2 verse 17. I hope I got it right.
Hebrews 2?
17.
2:17. 17 says, for this reason, he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest to the service of God.
Exactly. So Hebrews is talking about the priest. So he's discussing about a very particular kind of priest. And I will come to that when I come to the series of Jesus Christ. But for Jesus to die at the cross, to put on this flesh, this body, and be under the pressure of temptation within the body, then he could have a particular kind of attitude. Let me tell you, people judge us because they are not us. You understand? Yes. So whoever is not you will be in a judgmental place over you. And they will always give you what you deserve. Because they are not you. This is why God became us. In order that he might become a merciful priest. So that when you go to God and tell him, God, I'm sorry, he will tell you, I understand. And you come back again with the same thing, same sin. God will always tell you, I understand. Why? How is he able to do that? Who does that? Because we never even do that with ourselves, do we? We beat up ourselves. I mean the sober ones. We beat up our children, our spouses, when they keep doing the same thing, isn't it? We break up with them, don't we? Every one of us does that. The reason we do that is because we are not them. We are not in their world. But because God became flesh, he became flesh so that he would become a merciful priest, that he would have a particular kind of attitude and perspective on failures and success of human beings. So mercy, that's how mercy should be understood. And there's a blessing on people who have such an attitude. I'm not one of them. I am judgmental myself. I don't know about you. Me, I'm judgmental. But there's a blessedness in people with such an attitude. There's a blessedness in people with such an attitude. So mercy appears in the Old Testament 217 times and 59 times in the New Testament. Okay? Yeah. But the 217 times that the word mercy appears in the Old Testament, 98% of that is covenantal mercy. Mercy within a covenant. Because God
conditional mercy.
Not that. It's a mercy within a covenant. In a sense that all the times that God is talked about as merciful, he's merciful to the obedient and the repentant.
And that's
A, B, and then he's merciful to the Jews. But God is not merciful. Because when Yahweh sends people to go and fight wars, he tells his soldiers to kill everything. Animals, children, women, slaughter, finish off. Isn't it? That's the attitude of God towards those who are not Jews and his believers, therefore. Kill all of them. So why? Because they are not in the covenant. God will be merciful if you circumcise. It's a covenantal merciful. That's why it is always translated as chesed. The idea, not the word. The idea of mercy always is reflected in chesed. Chesed is covenantal love. I have discussed that before here. It's covenantal love, loving kindness. It's not loving mercifulness, something like that. But loving kindness, chesed, that's the Hebrew word. But the Hebrew word for mercy in the Old Testament is rahamim. Rahimim. Now rahimim is that kind of God is merciful to his own. Rahimim. Deuteronomy. Let's look at Deuteronomy 4:31. Rahimim. God is merciful. He's merciful. Okay? Thanks, Enoch, for the blessing. God is merciful. 4:31. What does 4:31 say?
4:31 says, "For the Lord your God is a merciful God.
Yes.
He will not abandon or
Eh.
destroy you or forget the covenant with your ancestors,
Eh.
which he confirmed to them by oath."
Exactly. Now that's a covenantal mercy. Why? Because it is the Lord. It is not God. Mark the words of the verse of the speech. It is not God. Because many people when read scriptures, they miss some things which are very important. That verse says, "For the Lord your God is a merciful God." So it is not God. Many people read verses and they miss out very important things there. The Lord your God is a merciful God.
The Lord your God.
That is not God.
It is your God.
That is someone's God.
Take it the word.
So therefore, whoever this God belongs to must understand that this God is a merciful God. And he will not forget the covenant that he has with you. Therefore, you'll be merciful. Why? Because you are in a covenant with him. But for us, we are talking about a universal God.
Because I'm in a covenant with him, I deserve.
The son should be forgiven. You see, God wouldn't have forgiven you, but because of this covenant, he will be merciful. Now imagine those who are not in the covenant go and kill all of them. A certain king was rebuked for not killing innocent children in the Bible. You remember that king? Was it Saul? Fine. So this is very important for us to understand. So rahimim is that mercy. But rahimim, the Hebrew language, by the way, if you want to understand the Hebrew language, you have to go back and find out how they developed their letters. Because the Hebrew alphabet is developed from a pictography. It's a pictography. Pictography, we mean
Pictograms.
They are pictograms. Thank you. And they are pictures
To represent ideas.
They are illustrations that represent ideas, isn't it? So the letters that form the rahimim, okay, are the same letters that form the rahem. Rahem is a mother's womb. Rahim. So when the Hebrews say rahimim, they are telling you that God is as merciful, okay, as a pregnant woman, and all those around them are merciful to that pregnancy. The mercy that we attribute to a womb is the same idea of the mercy of God. When we say mercy, that's the Hebrew perspective. Omukazi alero kutomulaba muti bwe tubeera mu basi yakola ki yatuule. If we are in the bank queue and you are pregnant, do you stand in the queue? No, you she's pregnant, can she please? Because she's what? That's the Hebrew idea of mercy. That's how the Hebrews want you to understand when we say mercy. What do we mean?
An attitude.
That attitude
of your own.
That attitude. So when God says, "Blessed are the merciful," He's saying that blessed are those who have the same attitude to all people, like they have to a pregnant woman. Is it now sorted? So you are blessed if you have that. How many are we? So that's the whole idea. Yes. But in the Hebrew theology, divine mercy is exclusive. It does not include everyone. But in the Christian theology, in the NT, it is a belief. It is not a culture. It is not a religion. It is a belief. Therefore, it is inclusive. And so, of course, for those who are interested with the Greek word is elemon, which means compassion, being sympathetic, and I think also it also even covers the empathy bit of it. Well, things like that. Are we together? Let's open Mark 8:2 and Luke 18:37. Then we'll go very fast.
Look what?
I promise I won't take a lot of your time. Luke 18:37, Mark 8:2.
Mark 8:2. Mark 8:2. I have compassion for these people.
Okay.
They have already been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat.
That word translated as compassion is elemon. And elemon is the word translated as mercy here. So God said, I have mercy for these people. So Jesus was a merciful. Jesus was even a merciful teacher. He was a merciful pastor. He was a merciful speaker. It was not about finishing his subject matter. No. It was about the state of the audience. Are you guys following Mark 8:2? Read it again.
I have compassion for these people. They have already been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. The attitude, ladies and gentlemen, that attitude. Let me start with very simple things. There are some preachers, let me start with us, who speak for 2 hours. And they don't have any iota of compassion to the audience. These people have come from very far, they have to go back. The means of transport. They don't have anything to do with that. All they are doing is pumping and pumping and pumping. 2 hours. But Jesus said, I have compassion, I have mercy for these people. They have been with me 3 days. I can't just send them away. Let's plan for these people. Are we together? Bosses, are you blessed with mercy? Someone has worked for you for 10 years. 10 years. 20 years. And they have no shoes. They have no house. Ten, 20 years. The mercy, the attitude. Do the people that we work for, are they merciful? What is the attitude towards us? Do they see human beings? Or they see workers who are paid every month? Is salary a substitute of one's mercy towards another? I have been with these people for 3 days. I just can't send them away. He's not responsible to feed them, but he's compassionate. Elemon. He's sympathetic. He can't send them away. Let me ask you, how do you send away people who have been with you? People, mugamba muti abantu timwera, mubasibula muti.
Nga bazze kulwamu.
Nga bazze kulwamu. How do you send away people when they come to visit you, to stand with you? In our culture, when you do a wedding like I did, all your aunties and your mothers, etc., they all gather. The day after the wedding, you are supposed to give them transport each. Yes, by the way, I didn't know that. It was my mother who told me that.
That?
Yes, she told me at night.
When the wedding had finished,
she told me, now I need you to have money on you. Then I asked then I asked her, for what? They told me, all these aunties that you see, you are the one responsible to give them transport. Then I asked her, they came to attend my wedding, why should I give them transport? And I said, no. They honored your wedding. You must honor that honor. Because these are elders. The elders honored your wedding to come. So in return to that honor, you have to transport them back. In fact, it is unfortunate you don't have a car. Normally, those who are rich who have cars, they drive each and every one of them back to their home, regardless of the distance. But for you, prepare money, and you have to give them, each transport differs. One for 50, 20, 10, 60, 100, you have to have that money. And I thought it was a joke. In the morning at around 10, then one of them came and said, my son, it is now time I'm leaving. Then I said, Mom, thank you very much for coming. I was so impressed. I said, okay, fine. Okay, where is my transport?
I think
It is a right. Hey, how do you send away people? How do you send away workers? Even when they are wrong, by the way. Mukozi abadde akukolera emyaka 10-15 akoze ensobi kati mugenda kumuleka agende. Mumusiibula mutya?
Omwezi omusala gwe.
Not to mention the punishment that you have given. Was it a merciful one? I paid your salary, go. But this person has been with you. They have been cooking for you. They have never poisoned you. They were that merciful. But for you think it is your salary that you give them. No.
Actually, ayinza okuba nga badde abafumbira emyaka 10.
Yes.
Ne kuluno yakutte ebifu by'enkoko n'abiwa neighbor.
And that's why she's being fired. The mercy. Jesus could not let people go. He couldn't.
Neighbor si uwe neighbor wamu.
What is Luke saying?
Luke 18 what?
In Luke 18.
37?
Yes. You continue.
They told him,
yes,
Jesus of Nazareth is passing by.
Okay.
And he cried out, Jesus, son of David,
yes,
have mercy on me.
Now that's an Old Testament saying. The reason that's why he calls him son of David. He's trying to tell him, I am a covenant child. It's not Jesus of Nazareth now. No. I am a covenant child. If you are healing people, I am also blind. Have mercy on me. I am a covenant child. Continue.
And those who were in front rebuked him, telling him to be silent.
Be silent because you are guilty.
But he cried out all the more, Son of David,
yes,
have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Is that Bartholomew? Hey, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Hey, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me, Son of David. Son of David, have mercy. Why? And those who were close to him rebuked him and said, keep quiet. You don't deserve it. And I'm coming to that.
And Jesus stopped and commanded him to be brought to him. And when he came near, he asked him, what do you want me to do for you? He said, Lord, let me recover my sight. And Jesus said to him, recover your sight, your faith has made you.
Now let me ask you, when you walk on the streets of Kampala, they are beggars, isn't it? How many of you stop and give them money or drop something?
Sometimes.
Yes, or in their things. Sometimes. There, how many of you are like me who do not do so? With justifications.
I used to and I stopped.
Yes.
I'm like you.
Me, I used to and I stopped. You know why we stopped, me and Tom? Let me speak for Tom. We stopped because we realized it is a business. That's why we stopped. It is a business. You put there 1,000 shillings note, eh? He takes it away and puts there 100 coin.
Actually, the day I made a resolution to stop, I saw an old woman, disabled,
yes,
wheelchair,
yes,
being pushed around by an able-bodied young man, strong young man. I said, no. We're going to share this with this young man.
Yes, so who pays that boy who pushes that old woman in a wheelchair? What does that boy do?
He's working.
He's working.
For pay.
So some of us refuse. We say, no, we are being fleeced and manipulated. No, we won't. We won't. Now, I'd like to remind Tom and Isaiah, okay, about the times God has been merciful to Tom and Isaiah when they are manipulating him. But he has continued. No. Altogether, mercy is in the balance of deservedness, okay, and undeservedness. The question here I'm asking, who deserves mercy? Answer, the repentant one, isn't he? He's the one who deserves mercy. Is it so? What about the unrepentant one? Doesn't he deserve mercy? Mercy is not for the good people. Mercy is for the bad people. Blessed are you if you are merciful to those who do not deserve mercy. That is the beatitude. Blessed are you if you show mercy to those who do not deserve mercy. Because I can tell you guys, the idea of turning begging into a profession must be pitied. Oyo muntu wa kusasira okugamba atuuse n'ekiseera ekyokufuula okusabiriza omulimu oyo mu musaasi ali wabi nnyo yeetaaga kuyamba. A woman who is stealing in a garden for food, okay, and the other one who is stealing to be rich, which of the two deserves mercy?
Food. The one stealing for food.
The one stealing for food. Okay. Why is food more reasonable than becoming rich?
Food is a need.
Who deserves mercy? Why do we think that the person who deserves mercy is the one who stole for food, and the other one who stole to be rich does not deserve mercy?
This one is eating to survive. The other is amassing wealth.
Okay. So he's greedy. So shouldn't a greedy person be shown kindness and mercy? Isn't greed a disease? Isn't the greedy person a victim?
Yes, they are.
Mwali mulabeko omuntu kulumbe ng'atisse emmere bw'ati ku sowaani egenda eyiikayiika bw'ati ng'agize
olumbe luleke
okwanjula.
Nina akadiini mwe nali.
Mulowooza nti omuntu osi wa kusaasira.
Waliwo omukazi bw'ati.
Why do we think that a person like that should be scoffed at? Isn't it a condition? Don't you see a condition? Do you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to demonstrate to you what an attitude is. Bw'olaba ebintu olaba ki? Bw'olaba omubbi gwe bakutte n'akasimu. When you see someone, a thief that has been captured stealing and grabbing a phone, what do you see? You see twako wababbi. You see mukube mumutte. That's what you see.
Batubonyabonya.
Do you see a victimized child of God? Or you see an evil demonic agent from hell? So blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the what? Are the merciful. Do you remember the story of the Good Samaritan? Eh? They are three. Are they three? 3 or 4? I think they are 3. The priest, the Levite, and the Good Samaritan. They are 3, isn't it? When the priest and the Levite sees the wounded man, what do they see?
They see a Samaritan.
They see a Samaritan who doesn't deserve
mercy,
and most importantly, someone who is going to violate
their holiness.
Do you see what they see? When the Samaritan comes, what does he see?
He sees a human being.
Hey, what does verse 33, I think,
of Luke 10.
Hey, Luke 10, verse 33. What does verse 33 say?
Verse 33 says,
Mm.
But a Samaritan, as he traveled,
yes,
came where the man was.
Okay.
And when he saw him,
yes,
he took pity on him.
Elemon, mercy. That's what that was his first impression. His first attitude was mercy. It was not, who is this person? It is, he might be a thief. His first attitude in that scene was pity, compassion. Blessed are the merciful. Let me ask you, when you're on that scene, what is your first attitude? Omukazi alabika yakudde omusajja. Abakazi twabagamba dda bave kukuula abasajja. Pastor Isaiah has been captured in a lodge with someone's wife. What is your first attitude? We have always told Isaiah to leave women alone. Who? Isaiah? We know, of course. Blessed are the merciful. No one says, how are we going to save our man? That one we know. It was long overdue. Luke chapter 18.
18 verse
23.
Verse 23.
Yes. Continue. Read very fast.
When he heard this,
yes,
he became very sad.
Okay.
Because he was very wealthy.
Yes.
I continue.
Is that where we are? Luke 18:23.
That is 18:23.
Read verse 33.
Verse 33 says.
Yes.
Verse 33 says, they will flog him and kill him. On the 3rd day, he will rise again.
No, I was looking for the data. I'm looking for the data. The man who had the data went to his boss. And when he got there, the boss looked at him and said, you know what? Leave it. I've forgiven you that. And then he walked out and met someone who owed him and strangled him. Do you remember that parable? That's what I was looking for. The boss who owed him much was merciful. Who he owed much was merciful. But when he found someone who owed him little, was not. Do you know why? Do you know his justification? Because he looked at this guy as the problem that failed him to pay his big boss. How do we look at those people that owe us? What is your attitude? Do they want to pay? Let's be honest. Do they want to pay? No, they don't. They don't. Even this is the, you know the economy these days, but they just don't want to pay. They have the money. Yeah. They don't want to pay. A money lender is merciful. What about banks? Are they merciful?
They are in business.
Blessed are the merciful. Can you be merciful and make profits in business?
No.
No, you can't. Then business people do not subscribe for this blessing. Blessed are the merciful. How can you be merciful and a business person at the same time? Can you be a merciful judge?
Merciful what?
Judge. The law is merciful. Can the law be merciful? No. You cannot put the two in the same pot. The law, justice, and mercy. You can't. But the virtue says, blessed are the who? Are the merciful. Are the merciful. But you've got the parable where it is. That's all. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I wind, I would like to tell you a story, which is of real-time history. When there was genocide in Rwanda, okay? The genocide began in March 1994. It went on until July for 3 months. The international community decided not to use the word genocide. All the press releases that the United States made from the White House, Germany made, Belgium made, Europe, the European countries, did not use the term genocide.
What was it to them?
It was killing and war.
Killing.
War.
Very important. That's very important information.
Eh? They did not use the word genocide. The UN was on the ground. They reduced the soldiers and they did not send more when the Hutus started attacking and killing the Tutsis. Instead of bringing more, they were reduced. Regardless of how many times Captain Delara, I think it was called Delilah, I don't know whether I'm mentioning his name right. He wrote to the UN, he wrote to the UN pleading, I need more manpower to defend these people because these people are an agent of killing each other. We just need to keep it. He did. In June, when the killing had intensified, the international community sent for its people.
Evacuation.
Fishing them out.
Yes, to get out all its people. They found when the Tutsis that had fled from the Interahamwe were together with these whites, and they isolated the whites from the Tutsi. So they sorted them out like rice, and took only the whites. It was only one white man that refused to go and stayed in Rwanda. I've forgotten his name. He worked for a Seventh-day Adventist relief organization called ANCRA. He stayed there. And they took all of their people. It was silent, regardless of the pressure. The international community did not send troops to protect the people against others. In 1995, when all that was done, Bill Clinton stood in Rwanda and said that my greatest regret is when I kept quiet, when I watched the Rwandans killing each other, and yet I would have sent troops here to defend citizens against themselves. What was missing? Mercy. 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 Can I continue with the story? After the war, the Tutsi were in power, isn't it? They arrested over 1 million people. And I can assure you, not every Hutu in that prison cell had participated in the genocide, but they were all arrested. You being a relative of one who committed those atrocities, you were captured. The situation was so bad that they could put 500 people in one room because there were no Jews. Now I want you to imagine 500 people in one room.
Room, maybe a hall over.
A room. With a hall, they could put there like 200,000 people. No food, nothing. You could look at the prisoners naked. Others were rotting. And there were no courts of law to try these people. Blessed are the merciful. But did these Interahamwe deserve mercy? No, they did. I will tell you why they didn't deserve mercy as a human being. They killed from pregnancy to elderly. As long as you were Tutsi, you were killed. Children were hit on the head. Women were hit. They killed everything because they were Tutsi. Mercilessly. In fact, if I get time, I'll come here and tell you that there was a radio station, RTLM, of a guy called Felician Kabuga, which turned killing and gave it a rhyme. They played the music. People had pangas and they wore radios in their neck. So they could kill people while dancing. And the motivation was coming from that beat. He was arrested recently. He's alive. So in radio nga bwekuwa muziki nga bwotemu omutuusi ekuwa vibe, otemera omuntu mu vibe. Propaganda on the radio. Kill the cockroaches. Cut down the tall trees, because there were two tall people. Cut down the tall trees. Mercilessly. Ugandans saw dead bodies on Lake Victoria, didn't you?
Yeah.
When the Tutsi went into power, could they afford mercy? Let me ask you, can you afford mercy? No. But the Bible says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. The Hutus failed to be merciful. They couldn't obtain mercy themselves when their turn came. They kept them in that prison. They started rotting. The international community sent judges. It failed until the Rwandan government introduced a legal system, justice system known as Gacaca. Gacaca, they could ask you, where did you come from? I came from Kasubi. Okay, we are going to take you to Kasubi, and then we'll have witnesses against you or for you. And that's how the Hutus were saved from those prisons, but they were dying in thousands, rotting, mercilessly. Let me ask you, if You are a Hutu. Where do you get the mercy of Tutsi? If you are a Tutsi, where can you get mercy for Interahamwe? Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
No,
God bless you.